What is up YouTube, and welcome back to another video. And today we have game 3 of Thundertalk Gaming versus EDG. If you haven't seen game 1 and 2, some exciting games. I highly recommend you check them out on my channel. It should be the 2 videos right before this one. As you can see, Z has been denied the Akali this time. They're definitely banning that out, and he's gonna be playing the Gwen mid as a counter to the Vladimir. He hasn't respected the Vladimir too much. He has allowed you to play Vladimir 3 times in a row. They're gonna be able to secure themselves the Sivir for those rotations. And we have some different supports. We have Galio and Gragas. When Nautilus and Ornn are banned, these are the next up, so that's not surprising. We have the Jax and Camille in the top lane, very common matchup as well. Here comes the fighting. These games have been decided from the early bot lane fighting, so let's see how they do this time. We've seen solo kills from both sides on the dual lane. Lee Sin has actually come through, which is a champion that's very often banned. And that's going to be going on the TT side. However, they are going to be able to get the Jace and the Vladimir, which are some priority picks for EDG, especially the Vladimir, right? They're able to get that for a 3rd time in a row. It's definitely not being respected from Thundertalk Gaming. So let's see if EDG can finally beat the undefeated Kings. EDG really want this win as well because they're very close to the playoff contention, right? They're 1 or 2 games off from not making playoffs, so every game matters. Great trade by the Jax. Very great trading patterns. I think Jax is a little stronger than Camille. Oh. And the early flash from Sivir. Kind of missed what happened before that. He's actually going for the Barrier and the Conqueror, which is interesting to not have exhaust. That is interesting. They do have Galio for the disengage, so when Vladimir goes in, they are able to hit the Galio to get that magic damage shield and usually survive. But we'll see how fed Galio gets. So everybody's basing for their boots as per usual. Rushing boots is very common, competitive. I do want to see the impact that this Lee Sin is going to have, because he's definitely not going to be good in the late game, right? So he needs to have an impact in the early game. In the late game, they're just relying on Gwen to be most of their damage. However, I don't really like the Gwen mid lane as a counter to the Vladimir. While Gwen will win the early phase, and she will scale just as well as Vladimir, I think it does make their team come quite a bit worse. And here comes the Lee Sin gank. Let's see what he's able to do. Immediate flash on the Gragas. But Xayah will be able to get out of there with her ulti. However, here comes the Gwen roam. And this is why they pick Gwen mid. Great roam from Z. That's exactly why he picked Gwen mid, right? Bully Vladimir in the lane and be able to come first in these rotations. So great play from Thundertalk Gaming. I don't know what Yu is trying to do there. Very well played from Thundertalk Gaming to pick up that kill. And great dive. That's a good combo from the Galio. Lee Sin is able to just immediately second ability flash, secure 1 kill, force out the ultimate, and they know that Gwen is on her way. So it should be an easy kill after Lee Sin tanks the turret. And they're able to get out of there in time as well. Very well played from Thundertalk Gaming. That's exactly what you want to see. I was just saying I don't like the Gwen mid pick because of their team composition, right? They don't have a mage. They have 4 melee champions and Sivir. Very short range team. Which is gonna suffer versus champions like Gragas and Vladimir. Vladimir excels versus these types of teams. Oh, another pick from the Galio. There's no flash on the Gragas, so he should go down. Oh, he did have flash. I guess he just didn't use it on the previous fight then. He's able to go down. He's very tanky. A very tanky Gragas. So Lee Sin has already had a lot of early game pressure, and that's what we like to see. Again, I think I talk about this all the time. Minute 4 has come in. The rotations have happened. The Baron lane have swapped down to the dual lane. And teams are preparing for Herald. Herald usually goes to the blue side team because of how the map is structured. It's easier for blue side to get Herald, and that's also why blue side is the preferable choice. I think blue side has like a pretty high win rate when it comes to Wild Rift esports. Great engage by the Galio. However, they don't have the damage. Oh my god. How clean is that Gragas? Yeah, the EDG support is like slowly becoming one of the... Like every time I see him, he impresses me. He might be the best support. I don't want to speak too early, but he might be the best support in the world. I'm always very impressed by his performances. And that critical barrel play will get them the Herald and the Dragon. And they're going to pick up Camille. They try to trade, but EDG are on point with their macro and mechanics. So even with falling behind in the early game, with that bot lane play, Gragas made an incredible barrel to secure the Herald, win, completely destroy that fight, not just win, completely destroy that fight, and they're able to get the Herald and rotate for the Dragon. That's a massive advantage for EDG. And it's all coming on the back of Langui. We've seen this the 4th game we see of him, and he's overperformed every single game so far. Absolutely incredible. The macro of EDG is also on point, not giving up the Dragon. They know that they can get the Herald and they can stop the Dragon, so they go for both. Very well done on the macro aspect. And now Thunderdog Gaming are in trouble. The gold might be even, but they're still holding that Herald that's going to give them the first tower. It's going to be used definitely before 7:30, which is when the plates fall down. It looks like Jace is going to be using it in the top lane. Nope. He hasn't used it yet. So Thunderdog Gaming are trying to counter it. However, they're going to use the Herald. They're going to get that gold lead, and they are going to outscale. Another pick coming in from the Gragas. He's not able to get it. They're going to be able to outscale with the Vladimir and the Zaya. So they're in deep, deep trouble. They're going to use the Herald mid, which is the best lane to use that. They're going to get the 4 platings. However, the turret won't go down just yet. Z's trying his best to bully this Vladimir, not let him scale. However, he's not really able to get a kill. Like we've seen Z, just an incredible player, but he's not able to get that one-on-one advantage. He did in the early game that granted him the 2 kills, but it ended up being worthless. Great engage from the Galio. However, everything has gone on the Gragas, and the carries of EDG are doing just fine. Very weird positioning from Soil. Very weird Sivir positioning. And now Jax is in there. It's a 5v4. Camille is not there. So again, they keep blowing everything on the Gragas. He survives, and he's able to counter-engage. Extremely well played from EDG Langui. Definitely the MVP of the series so far. Especially if they win. The gold is still even because Jax actually had to give up the entire turret to make that rotation. So Camille is able to get an entire turret. It's actually not even. It's a 1k gold lead now that everything is settled for EDG. But they were definitely able to trade back quite a bit of gold by getting that turret. Very impressed by EDG Langui. Probably the best support performance I've seen in a series. He carried game 1, now he's carrying game 3. He also carried the KBG game that I have uploaded on my channel. Incredible player. 0711 has also been incredible with his rotations and his macro. The addition of him in the CDG team has definitely turned them around. And the raw talent from Alone and You on the carry positions is able to get them on par with the mechanics of players like Z and Soil, who have been dominating every other team. So EDG might become the Kingslayers. They might be able to take down the undefeated Thunderdog Gaming. I'm super curious to see how this game plays out because Thunderdog Gaming are in trouble. They are going to get outscaled and they need to do something fast. Okay, Vladimir has the triple amplifying tome build. I respect that. Stack those amplifying tomes. They're also very short range and they get outscaled. Lee Sin goes for the Black Cleaver, not the Trinity Force, not the buffed Trinity Force, which is interesting to see. I guess since his team is pretty heavy AD, he wants to help out with the armor penetration, especially considering how tanky the CDG squad is. Gragas just tanking up everything with his Warmogs. And they're looking for the dragon fight. This is Thunderdog Gaming's chance. Another incredible barrel from the Gragas. However, Galio is able to get in there with his ultimate, only to shortly go down. The Vladimir damage is also insane. Z's trying his best in the backline. However, he can't find any kills. And it looks like Thunderdog Gaming will be retreating from the dragon. However, every single champion is low and none of them have died. Let's see which team has the balls to start the dragon though. Looks like EDG will be going for it. They have the better sustain. They still want to fight this. Thunderdog Gaming are not giving up. Here comes the Camille ult. Galio is caught out by himself and they're just gonna leave him and run away. They just have such a short range team comp, and Gragas is doing such a good job disrupting these engages. Just look at the Camille engage and look at Gragas, right? Immediately goes in on her and disrupts her engage, and they're just throwing everything on Gragas, and he's just so tanky. He's not going down. And they're gonna be able to pick up the Galleon and pick up the Dragon. The Lingui has done a great job at just disrupting all of these engages. An incredible support performance, especially when it comes to team fighting. And now they're gonna go for the Dragon Soul. Thunderdog Gaming, that was their chance, right? Now they're gonna get outscaled. This fight is their best shot because the next fight's gonna be way harder. Vladimir is gonna be on his 3-item power spike. Isaiah is gonna be all scaled up. Gragas is still gonna be a monster, and Jace is gonna have so much poke if they're able to control the area. They're starting to control the Baron area as well, because if Thunderdog Gaming slip up, they're gonna quickly lose the Baron since they won't have vision in it. And Z is actually getting caught out. Very aggressive positioning from him. And the Galliol is a little late. It's not gonna be able to stop him. They finally get the Gragas after a million years of trying. So they get the 1-for-1. Yu is getting a little greedy. The Camille ult comes down. So they're able to trade back. And that's a 2-for-1 trade. They were actually able to get Yu as well. He was a little greedy there. So it's actually a good fight for Thunderdog Gaming. It's going to put them slightly back into the game to get those shutdowns. However, it's still going to be incredibly hard to win that Dragon teamfight. They need to play it perfectly. And it's really important that they get a good Galio ult. However, versus this team, right? EDG have a lot of tools to kite back. They have the Xayah Gragas, incredible kiting back combo. They have the Vladimir pool. Jackson is 30 billion, his ultimate, he can survive burst. So they can easily kite back this Thundertalk roster, and I think Thundertalk roster draft is gonna hold them back in these team fights. They are gonna be able to get the crab. As you can see, he was waiting for it to spawn, which is extremely important in these situations to get that vision. Because they need to get as much map control as they can if they're hoping to win these fights. They're only 2k gold behind, so item-wise they're not doing too bad. The problem is that thematically their champions are just going to be so much weaker when it comes to these team fights. They don't have a solid engage. They're too short range. That's the main problem. All their champions are short ranged, while EDG has great kiting. So you're not going to be able to catch any of them out if they don't misplay. And Gragas has done an incredible job at blocking skill shots, disrupting the team fights with his third ability, sending people into his team with the barrels, and that's what they always do. They get one kill, and they make it 4v5, and then it's impossible for Thunderdog Gaming to engage into the 4v5, right? Especially with the short range champions. But let's see if they will be able to come back. If any team can do it, it's definitely Thunderdog Gaming. They have the mechanical raw skill required. And dragon is spawning soon, so they're setting up the dragon vision. Galio is actually getting caught. He's able to flash on the opposite end of the Gragas barrel. Well played. So he doesn't get caught, but he does waste his flash. And this is obviously, if you can take something out of this game into your games, it's the positioning. Look how they're positioning before the objective has even spawned, completely dominating this area of the map. And they're going to immediately rush the dragon, actually. That's their strategy. Get Soul as fast as possible, and they're able to get it. But let's see if they can win the fight, because they're not positioned great for the fight. Thundertalk Gaming have a chance here. Oh my god, that damage from Vladimir in the backside. And after it's all said and done, it looks like they weren't really able to do much. They got 2 kills, so they traded 2 for 1. Or is it 2 for 0? Yeah, when it's all said and done, it's a 2 for 1. They were able to get the Gragas. Or was it 1 for 1? I couldn't quite tell. However, they weren't able to deny the dragon soul. So EDG chose, okay, let's rush this. We'll have a bad positioning for the fight, but we're gonna have the soul. So as long as we can survive the fight, which is what they did, we'll have soul going into the next fight. So it was a good macro play from EDG, good calculation on the risk of that play. On Galio is called out, he doesn't have flash. Lee Sin does bail him out, but they do lose the Lee Sin ult. And now EDG are gonna turn to Baron. There's key cooldowns missing from Thunderdog Gaming, and they're quite chunked down. And they do have the soul as well. Let's see if Lee Sin can be the hero. And he can't. It's going to be secured by the Zaya feathers. I highly doubt they're going to be able to win this fight now without the Baron and against Soul. And they're not. They're just ran down. Every single fight's the same thing. EDG, TT get good engage initially. It looks like they're going to win. But then EDG kite them back. They're not able to get the Zaya. They're not able to get the Vladimir. And then they just lose the war of attrition. EDG just come back with those cooldowns. They kite back the main engage from Thundertalk. And that's it. EDG is able to win every single fight the exact same way. So this is definitely a draft issue. I feel like if they went for the Orianna again, like they did in game 1, or if they picked a different mid laner, a mage, they would have had a better chance at something here. I didn't like the Gwen pick to begin with, and now the Elder is starting, and versus Baron and Soul, it's gonna be really hard for Lee Sin to contest this. He gets a decent kick, but he's so low HP, he's trying to heal on the blue buff as much as he can, but the Elder Dragon is already down. So they have Cloud Soul, or not Cloud Soul, excuse me. They have Ocean, or Ice Dragon Soul. Forgot what the name of the dragon is called. They have Baron and Elder. All 3 buffs. They're completing their last core items. Here comes the crown from the Vladimir. Hullbreaker on the Jax. Vladimir is on that 3 item power spike. It's 3.5 items actually. And they just have all the buffs, right? It's going to be so... I mean, they don't have Baron anymore. Baron ran out, but they have the Elder and the Soul. And Baron will respawn shortly for them to take as well. So they're going to be able to push down with the Elder because Thunderdog Gaming just can't fight, right? So they just have to give up everything. Thundertalk just need to clear the waves right now. Maybe they can find the pick on the Jax, but if they can't instantly get it, yep, he stasis, they have to back away. They have to do their best to clear the minions. They definitely can't fight versus the Elder. Z is actually doing a great job, but they might be able to get a GA out of... Oh my. They do get a GA out of Jace, but Vladimir is just one-shotting them in the back line. And that's 2 kills for the Vladimir. And time's up. Vladimir scaled. That's it. Your time is up. You've been outscaled. Even without the Baron, they're able to push down. Great engage from the Gragas under the Nexus, and the Nexus slowly going down. This will be the game. And EDG have done the impossible. They've beat the undefeated Kings, and you can see how hyped they are. So thank you so much for watching. If you want more Wild Rift content, please let me know down below. I love making Wild Rift esports content specifically, so leave a like, show this video some love, and subscribe for more content.